Coach Trevor, thanks for the time. We'll start with opening thoughts on the game from you and then take questions.
Yeah, obviously not the result that we wanted. I think, last year we obviously came out 2-0 with a hot start, and, that's what we're gunning for this year, and we came short today.
Yeah, coaching lacrosse as long as I have, you never really know when the game is being decided. It could be decided at the beginning, could be decided, halftime, third quarter. But we really disappointed with our third quarter. I think we got outscored going to the halftime 4-4, get outscored, 8-3. A couple panic slides on defense, and just a couple, opening weekend mistakes, and give the Cannons, credit. They beat us today. They beat us fair and square. I thought their goalie was really good, really good. I think both goalies were great, but again, at the end of the day, it's our conference rival, and we'll certainly see him again down the road. But congrats to the Cannons.
Hey, Coach. You guys have been dominating the face-off stripe past 2 games. What do you guys need to do in terms of your 32-second offense to, start getting the ball rolling, getting more goals on those possessions?
Yeah, we just haven't been smooth with that. That's been Treff's been doing his job maybe better than ever. We were much better in that a year ago, obviously, and just we haven't really maybe found the right personnel group. We're trying some schemes. That hasn't worked necessarily, so that is something without question as we go back to the drawing board here in the off week that we got to address and figure out. We have the best ever, in my opinion, at the face-off X, and as dominant as he's been, and that's got to be a positive for us moving forward, and it just wasn't obviously consistent enough this weekend.
Questions on Zoom? Kyle?
Yeah, for Coach. Coach, we talked at the draft about, those off-season additions, and we talked yesterday about it too. Kyle Jackson gets his first 2 goals in an Atlas uniform. What did you see from him today that, his skill sets are going to make that midfield and your offensive approach a little more versatile this season now that he's on the team?
Well, we kind of had a competition. We had 3 lefties come into camp, and Kyle won that in camp. Made some plays, Friday night against the Chaos, but really was much more aggressive. I challenged him to be more aggressive, and he was great today. Let the game come to him. Could have had a couple more maybe, but very, very pleased with Kyle's body of work this opening weekend.
Adam?
For both of you, what needs to be done to get into the offense quicker after a face-off win with the 32-second shot clock?
Yeah, I think that starts with me. I think I can, hustle a little bit harder in between the lines. And I think just us getting on the same page. I think that, like you guys said, I think it was pretty obvious last year. We did that really well. That was a strong suit of our team. And, I think that's number one on a lot of team scouts for us of how they're going to defend the 32. Looking at this game, they did a good job with that, as well as the Chaos. They had a good game plan going in, and but I think it starts, like I said, with me of hustling, and I think I think we can all kind of hustle a little bit more and get downhill.
Chris?
Hey, Coach. After a tight first half there, it really looked like your attack got a bit more free-flowing as the game went along. Was there a message at halftime that was delivered regarding their performance or a change in strategy, or was it just the product of the way the game played out?
Well, I think it's more of how the game played out. I mean, those guys know what they have to do. Shelley, Teat, and Dixon, they've been together, the entire year, a year ago, really familiar. And it was a collective thing. It wasn't the attack. It wasn't any particular area for us. We that third quarter got away from us and forced to play catch up the entire way. And like I said, give Cannons credit. They got the best of us today, but we'll certainly see them again down the road.
Kyle?
Yeah, for both of you guys. Trevor, from a leadership perspective, when Danny Logan goes down, what's kind of the message in the huddle and to kind of keep guys poised and, he's a player that you obviously can't replace with his production, just his leadership. But what's the message from you as one of the captains on this team to kind of keep guys composed when that happens? And coach, game plan wise, when Danny goes down, what are you guys kind of working on to try to replicate what he does with who's available to you on the roster?
Yeah, I think you said it. Like, Danny's irreplaceable. What he brings to a team, just on the field, but just outside of that, the type of person he is and the leader that he is. It's always tough when someone like that goes down. I was definitely really happy with other guys on the team stepping up, like, Enti, really getting us going in the locker room, Brett Makar, Gavin, Rex. Like, I think we have, great character, especially on the, all over our team, and just talking specifically to the defense. But he brings another level that you can't find, So it was definitely tough, but, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay.
I think back to what Trev said. Danny is the captain, along with Trevor and Jeff, and the best player in his position in the game. And you lose your the best team midi, and there's a little bit of a hangover coming out of the locker room because we knew he couldn't go, and we were forced to play Jake Stevens and Brian Costabile, kind of share some more D shifts to kind of cover for Danny there. They certainly did a good job, but again. You take that guy out of the lineup on a 19-man roster, you're not filling those shoes. You're trying to do it by committee, and it doesn't. You just doesn't happen. So we needed other people to step up in other areas, but again, that didn't happen for us today.
Last question, Zach.
Yeah, Trevor, the Cannons had a shorty started attack on many faceoffs. Just what did you think of that strategy?
Yeah, I think it kind of was really reminiscent of when the pole used to be able to take the face off and guys subbing from the arc. That's something that kind of talking about, to one of the questions earlier, teams game planning for the 32. Teams are coming in with specific game plans to stop our firepower on our offense in the 32 seconds. So I thought that was a clever move by them, but I think it's also on us that we have to take advantage of those situations, and I think that we didn't do that. We didn't do that the best way we could. I think it starts with me and the hustle, like I said, and being sharp.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you in Philly.
Yeah.
Coach Will, congrats on the win. We'll start with opening thoughts on the game from you both and then take questions.
Go ahead, Willie. It just felt good to be back here for week one, and I thought our team was ready to rock. And as you can see, it was just back and forth the whole entire game. We just stuck with it, and there's a lot of people that produced tonight. I think our middies in transition, our young guys out of the box, Mick Kelly and Hager. It was just a team effort all around, and I think everybody was just dialed into the game plan, and that's going to change throughout the season. And all I know is a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, same. Just proud of the boys. I don't want to say it was a long week. It's a good week. It's a fun week. It's just a lot of work, and being the last game is. I don't know. You get a little antsy. I know I was a little antsy this afternoon a little bit. So, just proud of the way we prepared this week. I'm proud of the way that we practiced. So grateful, to have Will back and just to get the first victory is a good thing. 1-0 is better than 0-1. So good start.
Yeah, Will, just what's it mean to be back in a Cannon jersey and to have the game you had tonight?
More than everyone knows. I was just talking outside to somebody, and it's just staying ready. I've been doing it for a long time, and being back in the Cannon's colors, working with Coach, being back with my brothers, and Marcus and Adam and everybody else. It's just staying in my lane and just having a boatload of fun when we're doing it. So for me, I'm just super excited and just taking it day by day.
Coach, regarding the face-off, the numbers might have not shown it in your favor, but Zach Tucci and his ability to stop Trevor Baptiste pushing transition, also having a goal himself, as well as your strategy to put the short stick on your attack end. What was kind of going into that, game plan during this week, and being able to stop the league's top face-off guy, push transition, and limit those opportunities.
Yeah, you can never really stop Trevor, right? He's the best that there is. So, we were just trying to think of different ways to mitigate his effect on the game, even if he did win. And I got a great coaching staff. Fun part about this week is you get to sit around all week and kind of think of stuff like that you could do. And we executed, I think, at a really high level. And I give Zach a ton of credit. We've been kind of criticized for not having a face-off guy or whatever, but he is a face-off guy, and he does exactly what we're asking him to do, and he does it with a smile on his face, and he's athletic, he's tough, and he banged a big 2-pointer for us tonight, and he's a heck of a teammate too, and I'm glad we have him, and it's tough going against Trevor like that, but I'm proud of the way we executed there, and I think it did help us in the scheme of things. So.
Questions on Zoom? Adam?
Coach, could you talk about the performance of Graydon Hogg tonight?
Yeah, you guys like him? He's pretty good, right? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. I know what he have a goal, maybe a couple assists or something. I don't know. But he's literally the first day he stepped on the field for us. I saw Graydon play up here for Scotty in Albany. Last year against Notre Dame was the game that impressed me the most. His toughness. And then I watched him a few times in the indoor this year. And then Brody Merrill is obviously a good friend of mine and of the program. Really said that at Champ Series I really should take a good look at Graydon. He called him one of the best, toughest kids and best kids he's ever coached. And coming out of Brody's mouth, that holds a ton of weight for me. So, yeah, Hogger's quick. He's fast. He's got a great first step. He's fearless, and he just knows the game. Right? He just plays the game really well, and I'm glad he's on our side. And besides that, Will tell you. I mean, he's got a magnetic personality, and he just lights up a room when he walks in, man. So cool kid, and I'm certainly glad he's a Cannon.
Chris?
Yeah, Coach, first congrats on the win. Ryan Drenner just kind of seems to do anything you need him to do at any time. How would you describe what exactly he brings to the table for your team, your offense in general?
Yeah, Rosie, you hit it. I mean, he's the consummate pro, man. He will do whatever you ask him to do. The one thing I did ask him to do at the end of last season, and Dren wasn't happy with his point production, is that I wanted him to take more chances offensively. I thought last year he kind of settled into just being a glue guy, right? Setting good picks, moving off ball, handling some invert. And I thought he was passing up opportunities last year. And I just asked him in the offseason to really dial into taking those opportunities in when they present themselves. And I love if adding that piece of his game back because, again, he's an ultimate teammate. He knows our offense. He knows where he's supposed to be off ball. And now I'm having some opportunities to score and putting it in the back of the net. That just takes Dren's game to the elite level. And he's a consummate pro.
Yeah, for Will, good to see you back out there, buddy. Tonight, first came back in over 600 days. You record your 49th career hat trick. Was it kind of poetic that it all got started on an assist from Marcus?
Yeah. When it first happened, I didn't realize. I kind of blacked out. But when I saw it was him, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that, right? And that's just playing lacrosse, right? He's squaring up a shorty behind, just mixing and matching up top, and our communication off ball was phenomenal tonight. And to Coach's point with Hager and Drenz, those guys over communicate and just make everyone's jobs a lot easier. And we practiced it all week. I think our rotations and concepts showed, and we'll just continue to get better with that throughout the rest of the season. But yeah, it was a big hug after that one with Mark.
Any other questions on Zoom?
Coach, just have you seen Colin continue to mature in the cage and off the field?
Leaps and bounds, man. He was voted captain this week by the guys, and I think Champ Series and just his continued growth. He just loves the game of lacrosse, and he just works so hard at it. Right. I was kind of worried about him this week. I didn't. There was a lot going on with the family, which is incredible. National championship, and then going down to the Tuarton, and he was in and out. And Colin and I, we talk a lot on these trips, and we're away, and I missed him, and I because he was just kind of bouncing in and out, and I told him after the game I was really worried because I haven't had my Colin fix this week of just sitting around bullshitting about life and stuff, and he's like, I'm good, and so he works hard, and as you know, the Kerrs are wonderful families. Connors, I'm blessed, man. I got some unbelievable guys on this team, and I'm excited about what the future brings, and Kirsty's a big leader for us. So,
Will, there are a lot of great goalies in this league. Obviously, it seems like Colin continues to emerge. Where do you see him amidst that group?
Yeah, he's the ultimate pro, like Coach talks about, and he's a master at his craft. And just having Adam alongside with him too to lead and just have communication, I think has helped him, and I'm sure he'll be the first person to say that. And I remember last year in Utah, I was warming up Colin with Gitz, and that was like the first time really just being in that element with Colin. I was just shooting the ball as hard as I could from 9 yards, and he was just catching it like I was having a pass with him. And I was like, this kid he's elite. And like you said, every single goalie is so damn good. So just when you watch film, just continuing to fix those. And Colin, that's the first thing he's going to do tonight. I guarantee you he watches all the shots, and just you see him after every single goal. He's working on that exact shot that went in on him, and he's just locked in. And that's something I'm learning from him too, is just how locked in that kid can get. And he's the captain of this team for a reason.
Last question, Kyle.
Yeah, for Coach tonight, you guys had 10 players record at least 1 point. 7 of those 10 recorded at least 2 points, and 6 of those 10 recorded at least 3 points. When you guys have that offensive versatility going, it feels like your offense is nearly unstoppable. Can you just talk about, the contributions from so many different aspects tonight, whether it be your offense, the midfield, some of the short sticks getting involved too, and what just makes that component of the offense so lethal?
Wow, those are crazy numbers. I can't wait to look at that. So, first of all, I want to give a lot of credit to Coach Jernstadt. You know, he took over for Coach Mitchell this year, and you know, I mean, I'll let Will talk to it, but he's really a master of his craft. I think he's brought some cool concepts to our offense. I think one of the things that I wanted to do, Kyle, after last year is I thought our transition game wasn't very well. So when I had to find a new coach, I've known Coach Jernstadt for a long time, but one thing he specializes in is transition. If you watch his Grove City Division III teams, they get up and down the field like nobody's business. And so one of the reasons I brought him in was to kind of bring that system into the Cannons. So I think that helps spread the wealth to some degree. But at the end of the day, you know, if you look at our personnel, we got a great max of veterans, Will and Mark, and now Asher's a veteran, and Matt Campbell's a veteran, and Dren's a veteran. And then you start mixing in some of these young guys, Mick Kelly and Hogger, and then, you know, we got Badaro and Donnie that are going to be on the field here soon. So, you know, I think we're in a good spot. And in this league, you got to be able to score multiple ways, and that was something again that you know we scored 4 goals in the playoff game last year, and I'm not going to ever let that hopefully happen again. So we've got to be able to be multiple, and I think that's what we're striving to. But it's one game, a lot of great defenses and goalies in this league, and we just got to continue to get better and grow. But Coach deserves a ton of credit for this, for tonight. He's done a great job. So,
Coach Will, thank you. Enjoy the win.
Thank you, guys.
thank you.